My Chemical Romance shows at Dodger Stadium. An amazing time. But I put out a call for zine submissions after that show because I just wanted to like tap into this collective experience that we all shared. And from that I got 500 responses and I had to cut it down to like a little over 300, but from there we were able to fund the first 200 copies on Kickstarter. So a lot of you received those already a couple months ago, but yeah, if you want to check out the zine, I have some right over there at the merch table. We also have a bunch of incredible vendors here tonight. Everybody vending here was in the zine. The photographer, lovely photographer, has a lot of photos in the zine. But yeah, something else that you'll find specifically next to the cake is kind of like my first introduction with the band, or I guess like one way that I really got more in touch with them was like I wrote papers in college, so it was like about 10 years ago now. But yeah, you can read all about them if you want to nerd out. But yeah, I think tonight is really about community. I think community is something that makes this band really special. It's a fandom. Yeah, with that, I would like to welcome our first speaker. And thank you so much. Have a great time tonight.
My name is Denise. I'm super nervous, so be nice, please. Okay. So I was 9 years old, sitting in front of the TV when the I'm Not Okay music video came out on MTV, and it hit me really hard. Deep in my gut, it felt like when you go down a roller coaster and your stomach drops and it flips. And I don't know exactly what it meant at the time, but I know that their music was going to be really important to me, like really important. I had recently moved to California from Mexico, and I felt so out of place and so disconnected, and I was really angry all the time, and I didn't really know why or how to express it. And I also started dealing with the messiness of like the preteen life and the identity confusion that comes with that. I even got my first period that summer. It was the first time I read this back, that's like TMI, sorry. Which is weirdly, in a poetic MCR way, just added on to the bloody angst of it all. So it kind of was like my universe was queuing up the soundtrack to my inner chaos. Looking back, it makes a lot of sense that that's kind of when MCR entered my life. The Black Parade was a reminder of being that little girl in my room, glued to the TV, watching every music video, blasting every song, way too loud, I have tinnitus now, staying up way too late trying to decode any piece of lore that I could find in their albums, desperate to find connection to something or anything. And now, almost 10 years later, I realized I was part of something much bigger, and it was very meaningful and very special. I've been thinking about who I was, who I thought I'd be by now, and who I actually want to be. I realized I don't have to keep living a life that feels very draining. I'm getting nervous to just stay afloat, so I did something really big. So after daydreaming for many years, I finally bought my first guitar, and I signed up for guitar lessons. Update on that, I don't know why I thought it was gonna be like a prodigy or something. It's really hard. So it's fun though, I recommend it. And even bigger than that, I decided to quit my soul-sucking corporate job. That was great. I recommend that. Okay, and I don't want to keep waiting for the right time to create something that makes me feel alive. I want to be passionate and messy and chaotic and authentically me, whether it works out or not, because if MCR taught me anything, it's that it's better, whether it works out or not, but if they taught me anything, it's that being real matters more than being perfect. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Bruno. Give me a moment while I find my place. Sorry, turns out I'm just dumb. Currently, I'm a 7th grade English teacher, and the last year we had an admin team that tore our school culture and safety apart. Fights almost every day, chaos in the halls, numerous school shooting threats. It's been a lot, but through it all, I knew that I would get to experience these shows for my favorite band, and I held on to that. These shows were very healing for me, in that I got to be in a space full of people, and I got to feel safe for the first time in a long time. MCR shows are one of the only places that I feel like I can truly be myself and be around my people. I was around 12 years old when Danger Days came out, and I remember loving it immediately. However, my least favorite song on the album was The Kids From Yesterday. I felt it was too long at the time, and I didn't really get it. A couple years later, my older brother graduated from high school, and during his graduation party, I found him and his friends sitting on the curb outside our house, listening to that song and crying. I knew in that moment that it was a beautiful song, but that I just didn't have the life experience to appreciate it yet. But one day I would. So for years after that, I listened to that song, and I came to appreciate it. But it never felt like it was mine in the way my other favorite songs do. Every now and then, very rarely, I'll meet a kid who just absolutely steals my heart. If I could adopt them, I would, with no hesitation. Over 8 years of teaching, there's only been a handful of kids like that. But when they leave at the end of the year, it tears me apart. It's like losing a loved one, but knowing they're out there somewhere, living their life, and you just can't be a part of it anymore. Cut to the second night of MCR's LA shows. Well, as the song goes, now this could be the last of all the rides we take, so hold on tight and don't look back. As those first lines came out of my mouth, I immediately began sobbing. In my head, images of all these kids I had the pleasure of meeting, mentoring, and letting go of flashed before me. And all at once, I finally understood that song. For the first time, The Kids From Yesterday felt like it was my song. I'll never forget that. And now every time I have to say goodbye to a special student at the end of the year, that song will always be what plays in my heart. Thank you.
Hey guys, what's up? My name's Ashley. Anybody from Echo Park? Highland Park?
Yeah.
What's up? Hey. Alright, cool. This is awesome. It was my first time seeing this, so that's me. Alright, so here we go. Life is short. Buy the damn concert tickets. I would have seen MCR more times if I had Klarna/Afterpay 20 years ago, so go see your favorite fucking band. Health is wealth though. I had a pretty scary health scare this last summer. The same week they re-released 3 Cheers for Sweet Revenge remixed, which is really good by the way. I don't know if you guys listen to it. Kind of like it. The gym. Yeah, we'll talk about it. We'll find outside. So, all right. I had no regrets buying night 2 tickets shortly after that. I already had night 1. Whether that meant buying floor seats to be as close as possible to the B stage to give myself a healthy dose of MCR, which I strongly needed. I realized that these 4 men are going to keep on living and keep giving us the best performances they can provide, whether that is together as a foursome or their solo stuff. Night 2 was my 10th time seeing MCR. It was a truly special one. Reminder, take your vitamins, drink your water, guys, so you can see your favorite band play a stadium tour. I got absolutely plastered night 1, so I don't remember everything. I just remember ugly crying to their B stage set list, and yeah. So night 2 was a sober one, but pretty cool. Was recovering from the hangover that I was experiencing. But it was a special one because I had floor seats, section E, shout out section E. I purposely chose this section to be close to the B stage, but I was absolutely close as well to their main stage, closer than I had ever been. After freaking out about how close I was, taking pictures, old white dads staring at me, I sat down. 10 minutes later, this big security guard flashed their flashlights at our seats. Mrs. Lindsay Way and Bandit Way, I think it was her, she looked a combination of Gerard and Lindsay, walked by me, asked to get to their seats. They were sitting at the edge of the row. I had the other edge of the row, just like they were at the previous show when Gerard kind of found her in the crowd. I don't know if you guys remember that. He broke character once he locked eyes with her. I was starstruck. I was too chicken shit to say anything, but wow, what adult money can buy, huh? I wish I could go to New Jersey, New York to see them kill it on the East Coast, because they blew me out of the water during their LA shows, and dream come true. Big Dodger fan, so that's me.
I discovered My Chemical Romance when I was in 8th grade. At 14 years old, I didn't have a vision or an expectation for a future. I was still adjusting to a public school after growing up in a very private Catholic school, and the only thing I knew by heart was One Direction lyrics, because obviously I hit my boy band phase very early on. But with boy band fangirl instincts, I knew how to do the proper homework, to study all the My Chem lore, and see what each band member was up to in their solo careers. When I found the wonderful world of Gerard's comics, I immediately bought whatever I could get my hands on, with my mom's credit card. Between the true lives of the fabulous Killjoys and the Umbrella Academy Volumes 1 and 2, before they had the Netflix logo on the covers, Killjoys arrived first. The series that made me decide to become a cartoonist, to make comics like the ones in my hand. It was the first time I had an aspirational future, and I took it very seriously. So serious that I created my own narratives, all kept in the confines of my sketchbooks. Throughout all the cast of characters I've designed since middle school, there has always been at least one dark-haired brooding character, both a trope and a smoke signal of the emo phase that never left me. Each character has been a thinly veiled extension of myself, in some sad, melodramatic fashion. There is one particular character of mine, conceptualized during high school, who became significant as the embodiment of two of my very intense interests: vintage aesthetics, often masculine leaning, thank you Gerard Way, and emo My Chem culture. Surely you have seen this character too, because he is right behind me, blooming. I call him DJ, and I call him my twin. That character never would have existed if I hadn't discovered MCR. In a way, he became an unintentional 1940s homage to the band that inspired me to create in the first place. I would draw when there was troubles at home and when there were troubles at school. I would draw when people hurt me and when people didn't see me. Even when a classmate during college plagiarized my art, I eventually found myself back to drawing somehow. The gift MCR gave me wasn't just a good playlist, but a means of persevering through the troubles that arise, an escape when the world gets too bleak, an expression when I was invisible or ignored, proof that I'm good enough at something. There are not enough words to thank them for the domino effect they tipped in my life, something no other band has done, except maybe One Direction. To be included in the Zine, to be here reading this to you, and to have my art involved in this event feels like a full circle moment. I'm not gonna cry. And looking back on the influence MCR has had on my life, I realized this band that inspired me to be an artist is the same band that dragged me back in time and time again when I felt inclined to quit. But the difference now is I have found myself within a community of new friends and friends I'm yet to meet. I have always enjoyed my interests privately, but sharing this bond within a concert crowd, a zine, and in an event such as this is the most beautiful experience I've ever had. For the first time, I feel seen, and I'm incredibly thankful for each and every one of you. Thank you.
Hey, I'm Lily.
Hi, Lily.
Hi, Lily.
Hi. My little portion's really short. short, so I'm just gonna muse for a moment and say that I got to proofread this zine, and I really did cry reading through some people's submissions. Like, there's so much raw, beautiful emotion that people felt compelled to share about this band, and I think a lot of people think about music as like, it's not that deep, which is a phrase that I hate so much because like, it is if you want it to be. If it is to you, then it is that deep. And I think it is that deep for all of us. So this feels like a very special place to kind of share that feeling. We're all in that deep pit together. So, we were asked in our little thing if there were any songs that made us cry. And I said, hearing Famous Last Words live was definitely what pushed me over into a full sob. Something about being a 20-something nerd with clinical depression who spent too much of my art school career locked in my dorm watching horror movies because I was too anxious to get myself out of the house. Seeing the four of these guys up there all these years later with like peppered hair, dedicating sets to their wives and kids. More than anything, still alive. I feel like someday I'll be okay too, I promise. I said it's the same feeling that I get when I see an older butch lesbian in public, and I'm like, wow, I really do want to keep living. Like it's so worth it. Yeah, those are my four lesbians up there. Thank you.
Hi. My name's Carmo. So my best friend Faye and I, who's here tonight, Faye and I debriefed the show on the 2.5-hour drive home, of course with MCR playing in the background. We both concluded that we really never let ourselves just be, for lack of a better word, freaks. We are, when we're with each other, but I think that being in your early 20s and going into the real world with real jobs, you have to learn to subdue so many parts of yourself. Eventually, I think we both let ourselves fade a bit. But after the show, after the DIY patches and hair dyeing and makeup, stuff we haven't let ourselves indulge in since high school, after seeing this group that has meant so much to him and brought us together as friends, we realized that we've been shut in a box of fear for years. We are afraid of being seen as weird or too much, as people not to be taken seriously. In a way, we woke up. We've decided together to let ourselves out of our prisons of fear, try to ignore the shame and embrace our passions, however bizarre they seem to be. And I don't think I can thank MCR enough for that. Thanks. Let's give it up again for all the readers. I don't know about you guys, but I'm crying. I've been joking that this is like my personal wedding today. I got a photographer, got a cake, I made a cake. Speaking of cake, the kind of like next portion of the event, or I guess the final portion, is we're gonna cut the cake, and yeah, then you're free to just like move around, check out the vendors, mingle, feel free to ask for your photo taken. Brianna's floating around, yeah, with the cam. Yeah, thank you so much for being here, everyone, and yeah, this means so much to me, so have a great time.